That movie is amazing. Have you guys paid attention to Valorant at all?
Don't know what that is.
I know it's a game because I've seen people streaming it, but I don't know what it's about.
Okay, so Valorant is a game. It's very similar to CS:GO. People say it's a cross between CS:GO and Overwatch because it's kind of cartoony graphics, and the cartoony graphics work. Like, I'm not a deep expert in this, but like the smoke in CS:GO has like funny edges, and sometimes one guy can see better than the other one. In Valorant, it's smoke, but it's very defined where the smoke starts and stops. It's like a force shield of contained smoke, and it works well for a competitive shooter where you need it to be really balanced and accurate. The movement looks just like CS:GO. The crosshairs on the screen, it's precise. It's a competitive shooter, and it's big right now. I remember Kyle introduced us to, is it Apex Legends? Is that the game?
Yeah.
And he was like, this thing is a big story right now because this many people are playing it in such a short period of time. Valorant has had 1.2 million people were watching it on Twitch concurrently.
Wow.
Yeah, and this, I couldn't find the number right, but I think someone told me one of the streams individually had 667,000 people watching it. And it was
these Asian streamers? Like, is it popular in Korea or something?
I don't know where they were coming from. It's in closed beta right now. So
Weird.
The only way to really learn about this game is to see other people play it on Twitch. You can watch.
There's 856,000 viewers right now on Twitch.
Yeah, that's really big, right? Like, what's Call of Duty by comparison?
So the second biggest is Call of Duty Warzone, and that's 129,000.
Okay, yeah, so 7-8 times bigger, and yeah, so it's just a big thing now. People are asking me if I'm going to play it. I don't know. It doesn't look like it's well suited. It looks like it's for people whose mouse and keyboard skills are elite. That looks like the kind of person who play well at it. But I don't know. It's interesting. It's in closed beta right now. They're just testing it, getting some feedback from the streaming all-stars, and it has everybody's attention. We'll see.
Well, there is one channel, I guess Summit 1G, maybe that's the company that made it.
Summit's a streamer. He's very popular.
Oh, okay. Well, he's got 271,000 people watching him right now.
Yeah, I think
Christ.
Is it? Yeah, it's made by Riot Games, who's made it, and a lot of people call it a CS:GO ripoff. I don't know if that's fair. All games are derivative of each other.
It looks a lot like CS:GO,
but cartoony, right? It's like an Overwatch CS:GO ish.
It's a little more cartoony, not like full on Overwatch mode.
Your Summit won't mind if we pimp his stream, right?
This guy does not need any pimping. Holy fuck.
I guess I'm just, we're going to show his stream.
4.78 million followers
Well, he's not
on Twitch.
actually playing right now. Like he's in a menu or something.
Oh.
He's in a menu. Yeah. And he's got over 250,000 people in here.
I'm going to see if anyone's playing right now.
That's not my cup of tea, as you would say. I don't really like CS:GO. I've never really been into that. It just seems like everybody else had such a head start on that game. I like when a new game comes out and it kind of does its own thing, the way Apex Legends and the way PUBG did when it first came out, I felt. And even the way Tarkov has seemed to feel. Like Tarkov's not all that different in the gunplay than a lot of the other games that I played. Like, if anything, it's much more forgiving.
I'm told Tarkov is a little Arma-like. I didn't play Arma, so I don't know.
Yeah, I played a little bit of Arma, and I played a lot of the mods, like Overpock and stuff like that. A little bit. I think the gunplay is a lot better, honestly, in Tarkov. Arma always felt real weird to me. Like, you didn't have good feedback with what your weapon looked and felt like with what was actually happening downrange. But having played so much COD and so much PUBG and even a little bit of Apex Legends, like, the gunplay in Tarkov has always felt kind of easy. Not easy because everybody can do the same thing as me, but like not all that difficult as far as recoil control, because I've played some games where recoil control is so fucking hard. It's so fucking hard in Rust. It's so hard in Rust. That's the hardest gunplay I've ever had.
I feel like in Tarkov, it's not controllable. You can get a gun that has less recoil and do well. If you have a gun like a scav gun that has tons of recoil and blasts all over, it'll shoot across like 3 body widths, and it's not a thing that you can control with your mouse. It's just that wide. Are you disagreeing? I feel like you are in your...
No, not necessarily. I think you can control it to some extent, but a lot of the guns, no, you can't control it, and you're much better. like you're much better off hitting the headshot with the shitty gun than you are trying to like
Put it
control the
single fire.
recoil
Yeah.
and hit the guy 5-6 times. Because especially with those, if you've picked up a shitty gun in raid, the ammo is often shitty too, and
Yep,
so
yep.
it won't even matter if you can control the recoil. They might tank 5-6. They might tank 10 shots.
With the low end gun, the meta becomes full auto is for when you're standing right next to him. Single fire is the only way to kill a guy from across the map, because full auto across the map literally will go anywhere. There's no telling. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
there was a.
I
That's why
just-
PUBG.
I talk over you for a second.
Yeah.
I wanted to say that we're watching Dr. Lupo right now on his Twitch stream, just to give you an idea what Valorant looks like in case you've never seen it. And I was hoping that if I pimped him and said kind things, he would never copyright strike us. Go follow him.
Yeah. I don't know. That game doesn't look like it's for me. In fact, it's just not. That's not something that I would enjoy. I'm guessing it's round based like CS:GO too, and maybe there's a currency system where you're like upgrading your weapons and gear as you go.
Yes, and yes, they made an interesting improvement to the currency system. Like if you're crushing it and I'm not, then we don't even need Discord. I can request a weapon, say, "Hey, I wish I had this," and you might say, "All right, yeah, I'd rather have Woody with the proper gun than just watch him continue to suck and not help his team."
Yeah.
And there's shields you can buy, different levels. But on the screen right now is an example of what like a smoke effect might look like. You can see how it's really on and off, and the same for everyone looking at it. There's nothing subtle about where the edges are, and competitive guys seem to think that's a good idea. Would you like me to?
Yeah, it definitely is. I got it.
So we'll see if it replaces CS:GO. I think it has a chance, and I find it interesting that like. Am I wrong? CS:GO is the middle of the competitive shooter world, and it has been for a long time. Other games have come and gone, but CS:GO has always been the big deal, I think. And it might...
Yeah, there will be games that are like a big deal in my little world, but it's like, then you find out that, oh, this other game is 50 times bigger that you've never even heard of. It has its own little community. So I don't know. I know CS:GO has been a perennial, leader as far as competitive and players online and all that stuff, whereas so many other things have come and gone. So I don't know.
These characters have different special abilities, kind of Overwatchy, and it's like, this guy does what? She has a bow and arrow that goes through a wall, or this person has... That's so crazy. But they don't have grenades. And if you think about it, a throwable death that is a grenade is kind of a different sort of superpower than these superpowers. Just because they look cartoony with lightning bolts and such doesn't make them like way different than a grenade, for example. And the people who play it say they're ultras or whatever they are, the alts, are not the way people kill each other. If you want to be dominant in this game, it's about clicking on the other guy's head.
Yeah, that's what I saw in the little bit I watched just a moment ago. Right, excuse me. Right now, what I'd like to play is like a cooperative campaign. I wish there was something like that out. I guess Halo, the first part of that is out, but that's not really what I want to do. I don't want to replay something I've played before. I'd like a completely new thing. I'd like something that's either fantasy or sci-fi with some RPG elements and cooperative campaign. I'd like to do that. I wish Doom was co-op campaign, because Doom was so much fun. I beat it 2 or 3 times or something like that.
How's the multiplayer? When I last asked you,
it looks very unbalanced.
Oh.
So it's not even... So Doom multiplayer, you might think, oh, it's the Doomslayer versus a team of Doomslayers, and no, it's a Doomslayer versus demons, and human beings are playing as the demons. But
you have to try and beat a super powerful computer?
No.
Or it's one person gets assigned as the king, the god.
You get to be the Doomslayer guy, and then a couple of other players, they're playing as demons, and you're versing each other. But the thing is, the Doomslayer is incredibly powerful, and he has pretty much all of his abilities from the campaign. And the demons seem to be like powered down quite a bit from what they were like in the game. So you really need a lot of teamwork to be able to take him down. I think it's 2 demons that you're versing, plus a bunch of AI demons like mixed in. But I've only watched a little bit of it, so I'm not 100% on that. And it just doesn't look like something I'd want to do.
You think you're done with Tarkov? And you've been not playing it?
I'll probably wait till the next wipe, which I would guess is coming in a month, maybe 2. Yeah,
rumors too, but
yeah, I feel like I beat it. I've done everything I can do. I don't know. Like, if there were some accomplishments that I wanted to get, it was, I killed all the bosses. I've like killed them. I've killed Gluhar and all of his boys
There's nothing new for you there, basically.
There's nothing new, and I've got so much money that like losing doesn't really hurt me anymore. I don't care if I lose or win. So there's no stakes anymore, and that's what really makes that game a lot of fun to me is the stakes involved. So when the wipe happens and I'm broke again, and I've got 8 bottles of water and 4 PM pistols and a bunch of bullshit ammunition and like one backpack that I hope I don't lose, it'll be a lot more fun again. So I'll jump back on it when it wipes, probably.
I'm approaching where you left off. So are you level 44? Does that sound right?
Sure, something like that.
Something like that. I'm 42, and I'm enjoying this part of it as well. Like, yeah, the anxiety and the fear and the oh my god, I hope I don't leave, or if I left with this stuff, it would be life changing. That's kind of gone. It's okay to die now because I have enough money to stock the next character, and I have 50 GPUs in my Bitcoin farm. Imagine it could run Crisis, and so money's not a big problem. But I also kind of like that. There's another aspect of the game where I get to play and just enjoy it and run good weapons if I feel like running good weapons. I can run any loadout I want. I can have a meta OP one, or I can do a budget run, whatever I think will be more fun or maybe more stream worthy. So it's nice to play. It's almost COD like, where deaths aren't quite as painful. There's something to be said for that.
Yeah, so I'm definitely looking forward to the wipe. Oh, and if the cultists launch, if they launch a new thing, I'll jump back on for that too.
Check it out.
Yeah. If they throw something like big in, game changing in, I'll definitely come back for that. Obviously, the last thing they did was change the weight system, and I don't like that.
Right.
I think they're going to retool that.
I hope so. Weird how slow it is.
I'm excited for the fucking new Age of Empires to come out at some point.
Ooh,
that'll be a lot of fun. Are you being sarcastic, or would you play that?
No, I'd be down for some real time strategy.
Yeah, dude. Age of Empires was so much fun. Like, I can't wait for them to release
the next one.
It's one of those things where it was a year ago I was talking about it, and they still haven't set a date to my knowledge, and so it could be even late this year or next year.
Speaking of not set a date,
forever to release RTS games, which makes sense. They're really complicated.
They're huge and complex.
And they're like, I can't imagine how much went into making Total War Warhammer 2. It's just bananas, the amount of little stats and the little every map has to be kind of balanced, even though it's meant to be kind of random, like terrain. It's just so
I like
work.
strategy games a lot, and it doesn't matter if it's real time or turn based. Really, I like both. I love Civilization, obviously, and but I also love Warhammer. I love Warhammer a lot, and when we played Age of Mythology, I loved that shit. That was a ton of fun.
Age of Mythology and Warhammer have such good lore. Like, that's why it's fun. Well, I guess Age of Mythology lore is just ancient Greek and Roman and Egyptian and Norse gods and Atlanteans.
I don't think there were any Celtic stuff. Yeah, pretty much. No. That would have been a great expansion pack, though, to throw Thor and Odin and all that in there. Wasn't there?
No, they have that. It's the ones that came with it are Norse, Egyptian, Greek,
Norse is
and
I see Celtic.
Atlantean.
Yeah, that's a different thing.
Yeah, Celtic would be whatever Irish
deal?
people believe in. I don't know.
Yeah, druids.
Druid. That sounds right. Some
leprechauns, maybe.
I don't think
leprechaun general.
Yeah,
maybe
they should have just thrown Christianity in there too. like have build your Christ, get him in there, have him fucking healing your troops up.
Make all the water.
Oh shit! Samson's about to hit the right flank.
If you have Jesus, you don't need bridges. They just march across.
Biblical Total War. That would be so cool.
Moses parts the waters.
Yeah, he forces troops apart so he could sneak in a cavalry unit and cause some carnage. That'd be cool.
Jesus gets everyone drunk. People. You thought that was water, bitches?
Yeah.
We used to sing this song in Sunday school, and it was like, can your hero walk on water? Can he make the blind man see? And I'm just like, y'all need to read some comics. Like, the answer is yeah. Yeah, you're an Aquaman, asshole? Come on.
Yeah. Jesus can't shoot laser beams out of his eyes.
And see him fly once.
Keep from getting killed.
Yeah.
So
it's regular people.
That's the way it goes.